Welcome back to Organizing with HFT. Today I'm your host, Imani, and we are interviewing Miss Arnetta Murray. Welcome, Miss Arnetta.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So can you just tell us a little bit about yourself just in general?
Oh my God, I don't know where I start. Well, first of all, I'm Arnetta Murray. I'm a 19-year special ed teacher and been in the teacher for a long time. I can say all of this, a divorced mother, 5 grown and gone kids. I'm a lifelong advocate. I'm a councilwoman. I am a community activist. I am in so many organizations. So I am just, but the most thing I love being is 2 things, a mother and being an educator. So I'm just grateful for this opportunity.
Love it. Absolutely love how involved you are. That's what we
Thank you.
need.
Thank you.
So why did you decide to go into public education?
Public education came to me. I had a friend at the time. I was married at the time, and I was a stay-at-home mom, and my twins had started growing up, and so I didn't have anything to do. They were in school, so she said, "You got a master's degree. Let's go. Let's work on you doing a job teaching." So that's what I did, and she was a principal, and I just worked at her school and learned the rudiments of teaching, and it's been upward since then.
Awesome. And then what grades have you taught?
I'm totally special ed, every grade in special ed except high school.
Okay.
I've done every area of special ed, whether it's autism, whether it's in-class support, whether it's those very, what do you call it, severe students. I've had all of those medically severe. So my career has stemmed about in every facet of special education.
Okay, perfect. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Can you just walk me through how did you end up joining HFT, Houston Federation of Teachers?
Well, first of all, I joined another union when I was in another district, and it was under American Federation of Teachers. Let me say it like that. We were always taught to, as a special ed, always have that covering. It's just for emergency purposes, and so I've just been in the union since I've been a teacher to be protecting and to protect me, because I know as special ed it's a very critical need area, but it's a high area in where due process can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you said that, because I try to stress that to like the SPED teachers that I talk to who aren't in the union. I'm like, of course, I want you to join our union but your specific position, I just need you to be in a union. Okay.
Exactly.
That's a serious, position where like you could be put into any type of situation there. Your job could be in jeopardy, or you just need help in general, right?
And it's very vital. I try to tell teachers that wherever I taught, I shared that when they would tell me they wasn't in the union, I would make them feel bad. I'm like, you not in the union? And even if you have people that don't believe that the union is effective, you have to be able to share that it is and why it was effective for me. And so I did. So, yeah.
So under the takeover, how has it been teaching within Houston ISD?
I had the privilege of even fighting against the takeover. I was there on the front lines with our wonderful fearless leader, Jackie Anderson. Yeah. And so I learned all of that through her. And so knowing that the takeover happened in spite of that, it changed the whole dynamic of a lot of things. Remember, I'm an HISD student. I went to all HID schools back in the day. So of course you want to in your career doing that. But what I found out, once the takeover happened, you start losing teachers, you start losing momentum, you start losing so many things that are needed for teaching. But when you are a teacher of children, you still teach in spite of those obstacles. So those obstacles were still there, but many teachers are trying to work beyond those obstacles.
So why do you continue to advocate for public education, even though the cards are kind of stacked against us right now?
Well, as you know, another fearless leader, Randy Weingarten, has let us know that teachers are pretty the backdrop of keeping things intact, if you will. So I had to understand that I couldn't give up. It's not an option, because even if I'm not in, and even if they try to take it away from me, I need to make sure I'm doing what I can to play it forward for others. I think what we look at, we're in our society. I have kids. My kids range from 30, wait a minute, I got so many of them, 33, 31, 30 and the twins are 26, I wish there would be more understanding the essence of being a part of something, because
Yes.
you need to, it's so quick we can be a part of a gang that hurts people, but we don't want to gang up and do what's right for our education
Right.
makeup. So that being said, even though it's needed, so I can speak against kids being overlooked, especially at not being at a
Yes.
Hallmark, and letting them know we're all in this together.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I'm glad you talked about, paying it forward for like the other people in the district or new employees to come into the district, right? Because that's why we unionize, not just to, oh, this is a problem and run away from it,
Right.
but to actually come up with like sustainable, concrete solutions on how to move forward. That's so important when I try to explain to people to join. Like, it's not just joining, yes, for the protection, but it's also to like, how are we going to move forward together? Because the takeover is going to end one day. So how are we going to move forward together with that, right?
And exactly, and we got to hone in what, even though the takeover has had drastic negative effects, I think it also gave us a fighting spirit. That's why that no trust, no bond came, and that bond did not make it. So again, we have no choice but to fight. And even if you lose, I love what our other fearless leader, Zeb, said when I had the opportunity of speaking for No Kings. He said, if you lose loudly, you will still make an impact.
Yes, yes, that's so important. So how has being a member of HFT helped you as an educator?
Well, number one, HFT has given me the tools to know that, we need to have smaller classrooms. We need teachers to have better pay. For what I did, the last thing, because I'm in the teacher leadership program and in the alumni program, I learned, and after doing research about retirement, how most teachers that retire have to take on other jobs. They shouldn't have to do that. I wouldn't have learned that if I wasn't in the Houston Federation of Teachers. I tell people I'm not new to this. I'm true to it. I'm doing the work.
Right.
I'm doing the work, whether getting paid or not, because we should all have a purpose. HFT, Houston Federation of Teachers, American Federation of Teachers. Let me be clear. Texas AFT has shown us that it's a purpose. Even if it doesn't go our way, at least we put forth an effort to take a stand.
Right. To let them know they just can't run over the employees. They can't run over the educators and do what they want. Like, we're going to fight back and fight for our schools, fight for our students. Absolutely.
You got to, and I'm in the fight. I mean, hey, they non-renewed me, and I still, if I hadn't had AFT, I wouldn't, it's just so much they fought for me. I still was able to get paid, and I'm going to the next level of it. So even in the midst of my interview, even in the midst of me advocating, I'm going through it. And I think that is what has helped me to even stay in office and be in office, because they know, number one, she's a teacher. Number one, I'm in the trenches. Number one, they're doing me like they've done you, and they're doing it to me, and I'm over 50. That is not right. So I have made a stance. And even though I don't agree, you got to learn how to disagree respectfully, but strategically. So that's what I've tried to do.
Right. So for the educators in HISD who are hesitant to like take a political stance or like political action on education or to join the union, what would you say to these people? Because you are involved, like you said, you're a policy woman and everything. So I would love to hear what you would, the advice you would give to like people who are a bit more hesitant to actually speak up or step forward.
They need to know that silence is not an option. Staying neutral is not an option. I had a teacher that came to an AFT meeting, and she bothered nobody. And she said, I think she was a librarian to be exact. And she said they were really messing with her. And she tried to stay silent and tried to acquiesce. And I just said, and she really felt alone. But when she came to the meeting, we tried to share with her, look, if they're not silent in their mistreatment of you, why are you silent in taking the mistreatment? So at the end of the day, you're going to still do what you want to do. But I'm going to let others know, I got non-renewed. Yes, they did me wrong. Yes, even though it may have been absences, I proved that they were legit absences that you decided not to excuse. So at the end of the day, at least let your voice be heard. And I think that's what we think. People think this is the problem. They think, well, I spoke up, then things should change. It might not change, but you're getting your narrative out.
Right. I agree with that, as well as like, I just want to say to people who may be afraid, it's like, if you're afraid to go by yourself, you're not the only person. You
That's
have
right.
other teachers who are going through the same thing you are going through.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all can come together and address it together. This, when you do it together, you're less likely to all, get fired or get shot down or anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's the union spirit, right? It's actually
Right.
us coming together, talking about what is the issue and how do we bring this to, whoever can fix it. You don't have to do everything alone, type
No,
of
you
thing.
don't.
I just want people to understand that. That's the benefits of joining the union. You got a whole group of people across the district who will back you for what it is
Absolutely.
you want to speak up about.
And you got to fight for, if I haven't learned nothing, you got to fight for yourself. Yes, depend on the union. The union is that that ground level to help you, but you have to fight. You have to tell your story. And then the Houston Federation of Teachers and others have the resources on what you can do. The resources for me that, in the fight, I still was getting paid. In the fight, they were fighting with me. I wasn't in the fight by myself, but I just did not expect the union to just do it all. I think we get that misconception. We, just like we have to teach that classroom, we got to fight for that power, that purpose to make sure that it's heard.
Okay, my last question for you today. This has been a great conversation.
Absolutely, it has been. Absolutely.
So, just to end on a good note, what encouragement would you give to educators in HISD?
As we know, we're going through one of the most toughest times for public education nationwide. I would tell teachers, I would tell bus drivers, I would tell those in the cafeteria, don't lose heart, don't faint, don't give up. Go in your room and cry and come back out fighting. That's just the bottom line. In this life, in the valleys, there are mountains. There are going to be mountains and valleys. But even in those mountains and valleys, you still cannot give up. You can't give up on yourself and can't give up on your children and these children. And so the only way one must do, fight through it. I'm not saying you're not going to cry. I'm not going to say you're not going to have moments that you want to faint. But you got to get back up and not lose heart and fight until the end.
Yes, thank you so much. That was beautiful.
You're welcome, Imani. You're welcome. It's been an awesome interview.
Oh, thank you. Well, that wraps up our episode today for Organizing with HFT. Thank you so much, Miss Arnetta, for being on our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you to the viewers. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to make sure you see our next episode. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, y'all. Union proud, baby.